So I'd like to welcome all of you to our Caerusnet MVP Awards ceremony. I'm Steve Zyskowski. I started Caerusnet in 2008. I'm a passionate networker. I absolutely believe in the power of referral and the power of bringing local communities together where all ships can rise together and we can do things for each other that nobody on the world can do for us. And that's bring us closer together with new relationships in the local community, as well as bring us together in a format where we can deepen relationships with people we're already working hard to get to know. The people that are on this call today are extremely special and highly valued. You're folks that just, you speak to all of the quality characteristics that we would love to see all Caerusnet members be, which is this: fun to be around. You're people that other people like to be around, right? You bring value, you lead with value in your life. You're not so concerned about making a sale as you are about leaving an imprint of value with the people that you come in contact with. Because we already know people on this call, 97% of the people aren't ready to buy right away anyways, right? We've got to be constantly sharing our value, and when they are ready to buy, they're going to come back to us for that. You're people that know your business. You really know your business well. We know that if we refer you, we don't give it a second thought about if you're going to do the right things for your clients. You're people that when you're referred, you make other people shine. And then those other wonderful qualities that MVP members have is you like to reciprocate. In addition to being able to receive and talk about yourself, you're people that really dig the story of other people. You really like to know what's going on with them so you can be enrolled in their journey. And that way, when you pass them a referral, you truly are celebrating from the heart. It's not about, let me give you something so I can get back from you. It's let me give you something because now I'm on your journey, and giving to you is giving to myself. So I just want to say, so proud of all of you. And what I would like to do is have the facilitators I have facilitators on this call as well too. They have team members that are here, and I don't think there's anybody better to introduce their MVP member than the facilitator of their team. So if you're a facilitator of the team today, be prepared just to say a fast few words on who it is you're introducing. And when it gets to be your turn to speak, what I would like to do is kind of guide you just a little bit. How long have you been in Caerusnet? That's the first question. Second one is, what's your best advice? I mean, you've got good things going for you. What's that number one thing that you would urge other Caerusnet members to do or think about that could really have a meaningful impact on their experience in Caerusnet? And then the last one's real easy. What do you like best about Caerusnet? So you're just trying to get this all done in 1 minute, just like your meetings, right? That member minute, trying to get this all done in 1 minute. So what I'd like to do is just call on some of the facilitators first and have them make an introduction to their MVP, and then we'll have the MVP go for that minute. So Steve Beber, we're going to have you go off mute, and then we're going to have you go ahead and introduce your MVP.
Very good. Thank you. This is Steve Beber, and I facilitate the group down in the Saline, South Ann Arbor area. My business is a health and wellness company called Health Pro. I've been facilitating a little over 6 years, and I've been extremely happy with the program Steve has developed. Don't try to reinvent the wheel. It's a fabulous system. It's been very, very successful. As all of you can, you're part of that. You're the heart and soul of what Caerusnet is. And without the members, Caerusnet doesn't exist. And without Caerusnet, the members don't exist. So it's a win-win situation. We talk about win, and to me, that means doing what's important now. And that's what Caerusnet is about. So thinking of others, serving is the secret to success and giving. And, when you think about what you can do for another team member, what you can do for some of your clients, acquaintances, let them know you've got contacts available that could be beneficial to their needs. And, just open thy mouth and speak. I think that's the biggest thing. I'd like to introduce my MVP, and that is a wonderful young lady by the name of Danielle Blethen. She is the manager of Massage Luxe and has been very successful as the manager of that facility in Ann Arbor, and they've just opened a second one. And she's been doing a fabulous job. Always a smile on her face, fabulous attitude, and we are so happy that she was part of our group and brought her assistant manager along with her. And they're both two dynamic young ladies, but Danielle has been outstanding, passed tons of referrals, and always is thinking about what she can do to help the team. So Danielle Blethyn is my MVP for the Saline Caerusnet group.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, we got a drop in. All right. Hey, Pam. Good to see you. Okay, Danielle.
There's my fan back here.
Fan club. Oh, I love you.
So Danielle, would you share your responses to the sharing part of this?
Yeah, absolutely. So some things, I love Caerusnet. I'm Italian, so I'm a talker, and I apologize. You guys are going to see my hands everywhere. But I love networking. That's one of my biggest things. I lived in Ann Arbor my whole life, so I'm kind of known around town as the girl that always has a guy for something. So I know tons of people, and I love networking. And this was a really cool way to kind of hone in on those skills and help others. My biggest thing in business and in life and everything is just kind of being selfless and taking care of other people. It reflects a lot on your character, and it also like kind of comes back to you in unexpected ways. So it's, you know, just kind of being selfless. Biggest thing I've loved about Caerusnet has to be that like just meeting different people that I would have never met. You know, I met lawyers that now we're friends and we go on each other's like boats and stuff like that. And I've met, you know, people that are in IT and tech that we've gone to their events and like done, you know, massages for them and stuff like that. So it's been a really cool, really tight knit group of people that just look out for each other, and it's awesome. So I love it.
Awesome. That is a great share. Thank you so much, Danielle. We're going to do a big applause for everybody at the end when you guys hold up your trophies. That's great stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and turn to Wendy Caverly. She's got some MVPs that are here with her today. And again, the idea as facilitators is to just say a fast thing and let them do the talking. So go ahead, Wendy. Oops, you're on mute.
I'm going to very quickly go to my first MVP because I know she has to leave in the next couple minutes. This is Michelle Hilla with Slingshot Design. I met her about 4 years ago. She's been in the Fenton team in 2 different times, 3 different careers. The evolution and growth that she has put into herself and her team has been so amazing that she and I are actually now collaborating on a new program for my new business. So, and Michelle she's powerful. Michelle, take it away.
Oh, that's a great introduction. Thank you so much, Wendy. And I am so sorry that I can't stick around. But I do want to share why. I'm actually speaking today on the art and science of creativity and leadership as it pertains to innovation for the Women in Lean Global Summit. And it's a powerful conversation, and I'm super happy to be engaged in that. And I got to that platform through Caerusnet, through my connections in this group, and figuring out how to blend my own art and sciences. So, you know, I have a high tech background, but I really wanted to move into this community space and be able to help other people learn what am I great at and what are my passions and how do I blend those together through personal and professional development and continuous improvement. So really blending art and sciences is what I'm all about. And I absolutely love being a part of that journey. I found all of those opportunities here through Caerusnet, through the people that I met in these connections regionally to expand my wings. I wasn't from here, and the ability to be able to get more in this give to get mentality. I mean, Steve, you built the perfect system as far as I can see, right? And I have tapped into it, like Wendy said, in a number of different venues that I tried. Does this work? No. Does this work? No. Does this work? No. Until I found what did. And it's a process of failure, which again, fortunately, I'm an innovator, so I'm used to that process of failure and product launch. And as long as I could keep that in my mind, I knew I would be okay. So it's been quite the journey, and this is a huge honor to me. There's not much that would have come in front of this. I just had committed to the other one first. So I'm sorry that I have to leave, but I'm really glad I had a chance to say hello, and really, more importantly, to say thank you.
That was wonderful. Thank you, Michelle. You do such a great job. We appreciated that awesome LinkedIn post you do. Really really hit home to the heart. So phenomenal. All right, Wendy, go ahead and introduce the other MVPs that you have possibly here today.
All right. Well, I am very lucky. I actually have all of my MVPs, but one represented today, and the one who is not is a massage therapist currently walking on somebody. And if you know Rachel O'Connor with Massage Livingston, she is an ashiashu therapist, so she uses her feet, not her hands, and so literally the world is at her feet. Due to a time constraint this year, I did not get an opportunity to put a vote to my members on who they felt who should be the MVP. So it really forced me to be very reflective on my teams from an Eagle perspective, who last year, especially in a year of what the heck is going on, really rose to the challenges and was that consistent member, that go-to person that brought value and gave of themselves. So one team I couldn't decide between two, and another team I actually literally told Steve that everybody is that. So it was a Sophie's choice. But first, the co-MVP for the Fenton group with Michelle Hilla was our own Linda Toby with Linda's bookkeeping service.
Good morning, everyone. Linda's bookkeeping service. I am just so blessed. It was so unexpected. I was, like Michelle said, I couldn't be partnered with anyone else to be a co-MVP person than Michelle. We've talked many, many times, and I'm just blessed. Caerusnet has been an absolute dream for me. When I started, I had just moved into the city, into Linden, didn't know anybody, was starting my bookkeeping business, and from then I met Steve, went to Referral the first year, which was absolutely amazing. And I'm now in a few other groups, and being a new facilitator as well, I am starting and working on my own team here in Fenton, and it's just been a whirlwind, and I'm just real blessed. And thank you so much.
Excellent.
Great stuff. Thank you, Linda. Okay, Wendy, just keep them rolling. And again, one thing we'd love to hear is whatever tidbit you can give us. I'd like to learn from you guys. You're such high achievers. Give us some advice to any member that you would say, like, what's your number one tip for being great in Caerusnet? So Wendy, who else do you have with us?
Oh, I have my MVP for the Dexter Chelsea mega team, Mark Mazer with Edward Jones. And one of the reasons why he stood out to me in this past year is he only joined last January. This is his first year with the team, but he so took to heart what we said you need to do to be a successful member in Caerusnet, and did that in spades. He's done his trust builders, he's passed referrals, he's brought guests who became members, and he has consistent attendance. And I just think that he has just embodied what we suggest that people do for their own success, and took ownership of it. So Mark Mazer.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Wendy. I appreciate that. So I have been just a year. It's like a year and maybe a month, right? Because I started last January. And I think for me, you were talking about best advice. I think to me, the key is the trust building, right? How can I refer somebody? And I'm sure all of you agree. How can I refer anybody if I don't know who they are, what they do, whether I align to their passions or non-passions? Like I need to have that experience so that I can talk good about them. And when I'm out and about, it's funny the number of times it's like, okay, well, do I know somebody that can do that piece of work, right? And I'm only a year into this, but my goal is hopefully to be able to expand beyond just our own team. I remember one time I asked Wendy, like, do we know an electrician in this group, right? Because there's not one in ours. So is there somewhere else that we can go to that we can pass that information on to? So I'm always trying to do that piece of it. Sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes it just fails. But I just think if you keep trying, you're eventually going to get it. And then I will say our team is awesome. I really enjoy the people in our team. We have a really good time. It's serious, but it's lighthearted at the same time, which is kind of up my personality. So I really enjoy that aspect of it. And I'm looking forward to the next year. So thank you.
Excellent. And the next would be my new Hudson area team. It's the Oakland County team. And the reason why I picked Ian Johnson from Well Fit Life is I know that when the lockdowns went into place and businesses were not allowed to function, he questioned whether or not he could continue with the team. And he chose to do so because of the value that he's found, both in being connected and the motivation from it. And I just felt that, once again, that embodied looking at the value beyond the dollar. So Ian Johnson, Well Fit Life.
Thank you very much, Wendy, and thank you very much, Steve, for having me on this morning. I think I joined a couple of years ago, and what Wendy just said kind of hits the nail on the head for what we do at Well Fit Life. We've always had a model of impact-driven work. It's not necessarily numbers-driven. It's always about how we can continually improve the lives of our clients, the people that work around us. And Caerusnet has really emboldened that. That's really about how can we make sure that every aspect of your life is embedded. And so that's really what I love about Caerusnet. It's just the idea that the continual multiplication of relationships will eventually create this massive bubble of support and just goodness that comes out of the people that you meet. So we are very excited, obviously, to have the MVP here at No Hudson. We have a very big group that is very vast. We are out of Novi, and I just love Caerusnet for that very reason of connection and impact-driven.
Excellent.
So,
and my last thing, Ian rocks, and he also is a trainer. So if you want to be hurt by someone who doesn't really care if you whine, go to Ian. And my last MVP in the room is also probably my youngest member, and he knows because I make fun of him all the time. John Manwiller is my Howell 9 o'clock team MVP. And John is also an Edward Jones person, so apparently they breed excellence in their people. John has been a member for a couple years, and he is smart. He is focused. He is very good at what he does. He's bold in introducing himself to members, bringing guests, passing referrals. I am constantly getting emails that John has passed another digital referral. He's one of my few members who are very good at keeping up and keeping on track of that. And he's just a tremendous advocate for connection and a good, solid person. John Manwiller, Edward Jones.
Thanks, Wendy. Like Wendy said, I've been with Caerusnet for 2 years now. And Wendy knows that I have 5 brothers and that I'm very competitive. And so that first year when I learned that there was an MVP that somebody else won, I kind of set my mind to, okay, I want to win that next year, game's on. So I'm really honored. I'm really thankful to have been given this award. As far as a tidbit of advice I can tell you, I would say just remember who you're representing and remember that you're an ambassador. For me personally, there's a few things that's true for. First and foremost, I'm a Christian, so I'm an ambassador for Jesus Christ. So I love getting to share my faith with people when I have that opportunity. Secondly, I'm an ambassador for Edward Jones. I'm representing my business. I get to share my what I do with people. And then also with Caerusnet, I'm an ambassador not only for Caerusnet, but also for Wendy and for Steve. And so when I'm out at the gas station or at the grocery store, I have that in the back of my mind where whenever someone brings up a need they have or an issue they have, I say, hey, well, I know somebody who can help you with that, or I know someone who I can connect you with. And then my favorite thing about Caerusnet is just the camaraderie, getting to know people and getting to build those friendships that are going to end up being for life.
Man, that was great stuff, John. Wendy, thank you so much for those great introductions. Is there anybody else from your team on the call? I don't think so. I think we got through them all.
But
okay.
I did get in the drop in for Rachel, who can't be here.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to call on other facilitators to introduce their MVPs. Tom Hamp, we've got an MVP on the screen with you today.
I do, Steve. So Katie's going to be celebrating her year with us on Monday. I mean, February is a 1 year. Unfortunately, Chaz didn't have any use for her anymore. So when he gave me MVP when I was in his group too. But she ended up changing professions and ended up having to find another group. And I'm so glad she's in our group. If you were from the Lansing area, you'd know Katie. She's a multiple award winner in many different areas, including 10 over the next 10. I'm so pleased she's in my group and she's on the rise. So look out. So Katie Crick, Thank you for being in my group, and you're our MVP.
This room is so fun to be in. I wish that we did this like every week. This is great. Thank you, Tom, and thank you to Chaz too. I think that the thing that I like most about Caerusnet is that because it is values-based, you really can coordinate with other chapters too, other groups, and that's just so nice to feel confident and know that when you're collaborating, you have the same values, the same systems. Just makes things so much easier. So it's just great to have been, under the mentorship of both of those facilitators. And I've been thinking about my advice, which is wild that anybody would care what I had to say, but it's about being authentic. It makes it so easy to refer your fellow Caerusnet members when you lead with authenticity. Because when you're talking with a client and you are authentic, they already want to work with you. And when you can authentically, passionately say, my guy Kyle is the best guy to get farm credit from, they really believe you, and it sets that member up for such an easy close. And then they are naturally, authentically motivated to refer you as well. And having it come from a place of like genuinely desiring that relationship makes referrals so much more powerful than when you feel like you're having to meet a quota. So it's just a wonderful group to be in, and I'm glad that Steve, this was a brainchild that you fed and grew.
All right, awesome stuff. Thank you, Katie. We appreciate that. And hey, since we're out in the Lansing area, why don't we go ahead and hear from Chaz Carrillo, because he's got his MVP on the call today too.
Yeah, if you're looking for an MVP, other facilitators, let me know. Apparently, I just hand them out. And the funny thing about that is, and I'll disparage myself here a little bit, but I mean, the reason that we're facilitators is because we're managing this system to help people engage better. We're not, I think that differentiator between being specifically called a leader of a group or trying to take charge of these people or managing them, that's not what we do. There might be some of that involved, but our position and one of the things that makes this system so great is really to make sure we're facilitating relationships and engagement versus forcing things to happen. And so I just get to benefit from being connected to all these great people, but I have no idea how it happens. That's why I rely on the Caerusnet system to make it work. I don't think that reflects very much of me. That reflects basically of the quality people that are in this group, that are in the groups that I've been thankful enough to facilitate, and making sure that we have quality professionals, entrepreneurs, and business owners in those groups. And then after that, we can help them a little bit out with trying to connect and network and grow their business by referral. And Kyle's a great example of that. So Kyle, I met a long time ago through Boy Scouts. We weren't Boy Scouts, but we were helping lead a couple initiatives through local Boy Scout chapters. We stayed connected, and then he moved into this position with Greenstone Farm Credit Services, and we connected again. And it made a lot of sense for him to come join, visit our group, and then join. And since then, Kyle's brought immense value to our group, both relationally and referral wise, and just a lot of energy. And what that turned into in 2020 was him not only inviting visitors, being active in thinking of new ways to refer people, and then just being really open and honest about situations and opportunities that came about. He's a great example of having the referral mindset. So just being in the moment and trying to think of how people can connect to each other and how that would work to everyone's benefit. And I'm really happy that he's our 2020 MVP. So Kyle, make me look good. Kyle, are you on there?
Yeah, we can't hear you, Kyle. Okay, Kyle, I tell you what, just because we've got to keep rolling, once you get that fixed, give me a little tap so we can hear from you. Do you have it fixed right now by chance?
Is that working now?
It does. Okay, fantastic.
Okay. All right.
Please go.
Sorry about that. the computer itself may go in and out. Hopefully it doesn't, but hopefully you can hear me. I really appreciate it, Chaz. You know, I connected with Chaz, like you said, a while ago. You know, I really tried to embrace the Caerusnet group and, you know, get an idea of how I could bring value. I would say my biggest advice for someone coming into Caerusnet that I've learned through the Caerusnet group is whenever someone approaches you and says, hey, do you want to come to this group or do you want to do this? And I've always approached that with the yes mentality. So I've always asked Chaz. One example is Katie's part of this group too, but it's called the Capital or Commercial Connections group, where it's mostly commercial related stuff. And I was like, well, I do agricultural lending, but sure, I'll go. And it actually created a lot of value and a lot of connections that I was able to use. And you find opportunities that benefit you or that actually pertain to you in some of these other groups. So just having the connection, I feel like Caerusnet is a kind of a drop ship type situation where I can just basically refer it to that person in the Caerusnet group and not have to worry about it like we've already talked about, because even networking with other groups, you know, Tom's group and other ones that are in the Lansing area, all of the people that are in there, it doesn't matter what group they're a part of. If they're part of Caerusnet, I can drop ship that person to that referral and not worry about that person being taken care of. So it's been a really great resource for me, and I really appreciate being the MVP for this group. So thank you.
All right, great stuff, Kyle. So glad we're able to get that microphone working. So we also have Doug Moffitt with us today. Doug facilitates 2 Caerusnet groups, and before Doug introduces his MVPs, I want to say thank you so much to Doug Moffitt. Doug Moffitt was the second Caerusnet member ever when I started Caerusnet in 2008. And he broke my heart after about 9 years when he told me he was quitting the team and he wasn't going to be doing it anymore. But then my pulse started racing again, and I started getting excited when he told me the reason I'm leaving the team, Steve, is because I'm going to start 2 of my own. And then I'm like, okay, see ya, bye, have a good time. And guess what? He has. Doug, through being in Caerusnet so long, just was, you know, those values just come right out of him so easily now. And he's one of the things that Doug said that this year his #1 word is to be coachable. And I think that's something that all great leaders do, is we recognize we all have blind spots, and people that can help us uncover those blind spots keep us from running into bad things. So Doug, I'm just so proud of you for being the Caerusnet Facilitator of the Year for 2020. I'd ask you just to say a fast word about what that means to you before you introduce your 2 MVPs.
Thank you, Steve. And I don't remember the story that way. You were the one that told me I needed to leave. But anyway, it's thank you. I appreciate it. It's a privilege and an honor to be on this journey, as we talk about when we get together and just kind of look back 13 years now, just at this journey that Caerusnet has been. And I just love it. I love here. I'm taking a bunch of notes, as I always do. I already got my next toolbox planned. It's tips and tidbits and great advice from Caerusnet MVP celebration. So it is my pleasure to introduce 2 amazing people that do exactly what you just said at the end there. Carrie and Mary Beth both give me great feedback. They're amazing members. I'm going to start with my Brighton team, where we did have co-MVPs, and Roger Burnett couldn't be with us today, has been a wonderful member and has become really involved in Caerusnet. A lot of people know him and should know him. But then if you haven't met Mary Beth Patricus, AKA Mama Bear, she is just awesome. She is the quintessential connector. She is almost always there unless she's out of town. She's consistent. She invites visitors. She refers incredibly well, and she gave a great one to Roger at the end of the year. And she's usually one of the first people to welcome somebody and do a trust builder. So you couldn't ask for a better member. Mary Beth, please go ahead and take it away.
Wow, thank you so much. Yes, name of my business is Mama Bear Productions, and I partner with Shackley, a 65-year-old ethical health and wellness company. And I think I started out in Steve's group in, was it April or March of 2014?
Been a little while now.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm so grateful for this group. I was in numerous networking groups before, and like anything else, you get what you pay for. And many people go into a networking group thinking that, oh, it's all about me, but not in Caerusnet. I mean, everyone's been saying that, right? It's just so wonderful to be able to give. And I liked what Katie said. I think it was Katie that said, you know, then you just have those surprises when you receive, right? You give without any expectations. And the other networking groups I was in, they just, you know, you had to volunteer to be in a leadership position. And then you're so focused on the group that you don't spend the time on letting people know about your business. So I finally took the plunge, made a solid investment, and came into Caerusnet. And I've just met so many amazing people and have acquired friends as well, right? It's not just about the business. And when I'm looking for someone that may not be in a group that I'm in, I go on Caerusnet.com and I scroll around, or I'll say, hey, Steve, do you know someone that, you know, could do blah, blah, blah. And he goes, yeah, I use this person. Like for carpeting, I use, oh my gosh, I'm forgetting his name. And I've used him several times. It's so bad. Anyway, just a really wonderful way to network your business and to give. And yes, it's always nice to receive as well.
That was awesome. Well said, Mary Beth. And my quick advice is to lead with love and to give without keeping score. Those are a couple of things my team hears me say on a pretty usual basis. And my next MVP I'd like to introduce is Carrie Middaugh from my Ann Arbor team. And she does both of those things. Carrie is, she's actually the very first person I met with, thanks to Steve, who introduced me to her. We sat down before Ann Arbor team even launched. And she just, I could tell right away about her passion. She's a real estate agent, very, very successful one in the Ann Arbor, Ypsilanti area. But she's just a kind and giving and fun person. She's one of the funniest people. Alex Roberts commented on that as he voted for her for Member of the Year. She's funny. She keeps us all on our toes. She's creative. She helped us come up with a toolbox last year where we all did Antigua Montoya from Princess Bride. We had a little fun with that. She's awesome. So without further ado, I'd like to say thank you and congrats to Carrie Middaugh, the Ann Arbor team MVP. Take it away, Carrie.
Thanks, Doug. I do remember the first time we sat down over coffee. It was a very cold morning a few years ago. So that was a nice meeting. I remember kind of lurking on some of Steve's other groups, you know, wondering when a spot was going to open up for a residential real estate person. And yeah, lo and behold, so something was in the works for Ann Arbor. So I'm appreciative for that. But you know that one phrase that says, you're the sum of the 5 people that, or no, the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. So I'm appreciative to Caerusnet, to Doug and the group, because I feel like my participation, my attendance in that group has just kind of caused me to be more accountable and just kind of raise the bar a little bit in terms of my professional mindset. So I'm thankful for that. A couple other things I want to say. I do like to be Google for my clients. Like I want them to wonder, oh, who should I call for carpet, or who should I call for this or that? And I don't want them to go to Google. I want them to just call Carrie. Like, let's just call Carrie, she'll know. And so I kind of said that right away with Caerusnet. Like, I'm here to grow my list of people that I can refer out. So I've been able to do that a little bit with Caerusnet. I'm hoping to do that more. And to be on other people's lists, right? So like I'm trying to earn my slogan, call Carrie and start packing. So, you know, I say, if anybody knows of someone that needs to make a change, just call Carrie, you've got to call Carrie. And I also make it known that I love my clients. Like I'm not ashamed about that. Like I really enjoy my clients. I've pretty much never met a person that I didn't like. And so I try to just share the joy. And I do love matching people up with the perfect home, or matching up a need with a solution in terms of, you know, the carpet guys or the electrician or whatever. So one thing that I've started doing and with Caerusnet for the trust builders, and also with my clients and my friends and my mother, is a walk and talk. So, you know, people aren't really getting together for coffee anymore, or girls' nights in, or anything like that. So I've started to do a walk and talk, and I'm trying to meet with 1 or 2 people a week in the park or mall walking, and do our trust builders kind of in motion that way. So that's been nice.
Yes, very much. And Carrie's actually faster than me, believe it or not. And I'd take you up on that for somebody to challenge you on that. But great job, Carrie. Great job, Mary Beth. And thank you so much, Steve. This is a great event.
Hey, yeah, we're getting great information. Really appreciate it. So we've let the members of teams facilitated by people other than me go first. And before we recognize some of the folks that are on the teams that I run, I wanted to call out Kevin McGuire. Kevin McGuire is Caerusnet's best new facilitator for 2020. Kevin comes with a real deep and rich interest in networking. He was heavily involved in something called the Sunrise Networking Group, which is over on the east side of the state. And Kevin, they're more of a social club. They don't really do things the way we do it at the meetings in terms of the education and encouragement and all that other stuff. Kevin was setting out to do a Caerusnet himself, you know, thinking about what the perfect thing looked like. And then he was introduced to Caerusnet by Jeff Gronke, a Caerusnet member, and Carl Carter, Caerusnet members. And they said, hey, if you're going to start networking groups, why don't you just get a hold of Steve? He's already done the hard work. And Kevin now is building a team in Livonia. They're engaged. He's also a deep, rich learner. We spend usually 2 days a week, or sorry, 2 days a month on a Zoom call, just helping him do well with this. And his interest level is fantastic. So Kevin, what's the secret to your success as best new facilitator?
Well, first, that is all true, what Steve said. What's also true is how much I'm enjoying Caerusnet. I own a company called Direct Success Partners. We're an investment and leadership development firm. But mostly right now, my focus is becoming a multiple team facilitator. And I started this Livonia team in May and got to about mid or late summer and was not enjoying the launch that I had hoped to have. And of course, my first thought was to blame it on COVID. And then I remembered an old concept, a guiding principle that even though I've been successful in other business ventures, I hadn't done this yet. So I took a step to begin meeting with Steve on a regular basis, found him very easy to get to, set an appointment on his calendar. He's there every time, he's excited. And as a result of that, I have turned myself back into a student and learning from someone that's already mastered the process. So that's, we've got some great momentum going right now. We hit official team status, actually, since this was scheduled. Otherwise, I was just thinking I could have nominated myself for MVP and gotten 2 awards. But just to show you what kind of guy I am, just a joke, but this is, I've loved it, loving it. Look forward to getting a chance to meet you all, hopefully in person at some point through the years. And thanks for everything, Steve. Really have enjoyed it.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. I appreciate all your hard work. So we've got 5 special folks to hear from. I'm going to call on Jimmy Plasky next. Jimmy is a financial advisor with Executive Wealth Management, but he really sees himself as a coach, being there for his clients, helping them see what's coming around the corner. One of the ways that he helps his clients as well, too, is by, like somebody said, drop shipping referrals to people that he trusts so they can reinforce those special relationships. Jimmy brings a ton of heart to what he does with his Caerusnet group. He's actually been a facilitator before. He's involved in the local chamber. He's involved in the walk-ins Alzheimer's. The guy is just, he's like a Tasmanian devil of engagement. Jimmy, I'm so proud of you. Congratulations on your MVP.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Steve. As you mentioned, I'm Jimmy Plasky with Executive Wealth Management. And first off, I have to give two big thank yous. First one goes to Wendy. Wendy, thank you for coming up to me at the tribute ribbon cutting in 2015 and asking me to go on an adventure with you. It's probably one of the best decisions I ever made joining Steve's 10 a.m. group. And Steve, I can't thank you enough for being the business coach and mentor you've been to me and everyone in this group, especially the last 5 years. You've done so much for small businesses in the state of Michigan, and looks like it's going beyond that. So thank you, because I think 2020 was great for all of us because of you and what you've been willing to do. I have 3 recommendations for Caerusnet members. One is don't be afraid of rejection, right? What's the worst thing someone's going to say to you? No, right? Or go away. So, okay, now we're past that fact. Now go ask your question. Go have that conversation. Don't be afraid of rejection. Trust the process of Caerusnet. When I started in August of 2015, I was a young professional in finance, clean shaven, no idea what I was doing. And I didn't get my first referral till December of 2016. So we're at 15 months. And I can proudly say that in 2020, I'm the team MVP, right? Just stick with the process because it works, right? The trust builders work, getting to know the people in your group and outside of your group. I've heard it before, on this conversation that go to the Caerusnet website. There's a lot of information there and a lot of really good professionals in our group. And the last thing I'd say is be a go-giver, right? And again, another theme that we've heard today, it's this community, Brighton specifically, it's right, you get out with of what you put in. And Steve has preached this to me, and something that I have taken to heart is put some seeds in the ground, right? Sow those seeds. As business individuals, as business professionals, right? We're always hunting every day for that next lead, that next close. But my success story kind of leads to this of 2020, what I wanted to share. And 2020 was brutal for all of us. Myself, working in finance, getting married, getting a new house, getting a puppy, things were nuts for me. And I can fortunately say that I had a great 2020, and 100% of my referrals or my clients and my closes were all referrals from existing clients or from my centers of influence of Caerusnet. And that 5 years later, it's there. So for those that are questioning the process, whether they should be doing it, whether they should stick with it or not, stick with the process. So I would say there's the 3 things, right? Don't be afraid of the rejection, trust the process, and be a go-giver. Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, that's great information. And I love that you get to see Caerusnet from multiple perspectives as well, too. And I'm thrilled to be on this journey with you, Jimmy. Tammy Bethune is with BTG Solution. She's been a heartbeat on the Wednesday Brighton 8 a.m. team. She is just unbelievably giving. She's like a scout for everybody else. And I love her too, just because of her authenticity and the way that she just brings such a calming spirit to everything. Tammy Bethune, I'm so glad to have you as the MVP of the Brighton Wednesday 8 a.m. team. I know you've got some great information for us.
Thank you, Steve. You're so kind. I am in my 6th year as a Caerusnet member, always with the Brighton 8 a.m. and Doug Moffat, we do miss you. And Doug was part of the inspiration for me to continue on, because he's a model of what Caerusnet brings. And in that group, we always have fun. I really like seeing that as the first step of, what is our end game, to have fun. I like that. I'm a solopreneur. I am to bridge the gap, but I'm a solopreneur. And I'm B2B, providing online digital marketing, website, email, social media. So I like to be social, but it's just me, myself, and I as my business. So through those years, Caerusnet team has given me that sounding board, the encouragement, and tools. I really appreciate the toolbox because I do learn, and you remind me of things that I had learned and had forgotten or did not practice anymore. So very professional to keep me at that level, and to hear other businesses and what their challenges and their successes were, so we could share that joy or share that, how could that have happened? And and to know that you're safe sharing that as well. Trust builder meetings are always important to me. I try to do those soon on as a new person joins a team, and do a lot of listening during the trust builder meeting rather than a lot of talking. And so that is probably all that I have to share. Was there something else, Steve, that you want me to direct?
Well, I think you've encapsulated, I think one of the things that I got from this that you said that you like best about Caerusnet is being a solopreneur. This kind of gives you now part of a team to be a part of that makes it so a solopreneur is not a lonelypreneur. You're somebody who's got other people that you can count on and lean on. And I think that's a huge benefit. And then you also mentioned trust builders is the key to your success. And I'm 100% on board with you and know that that's how you roll. Yeah. Thank you, Tammy. You are awesome. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve. This program, it's perfect. And I can't wait to see it grow even bigger. I want to help you do that.
With your help and the help of everybody on the screen, we're unstoppable already. We just don't know it yet. All right, so I've got Karen Kokeny on this call as well too. Karen is the heartbeat of my Ann Arbor 1 o'clock group. And let me explain. We're talking about a group that has amazing, powerful heartbeats on it. Karen, to be an MVP of this team is, wow. I mean, there could have been 10 MVPs possibly. Not to say that you didn't deserve it, because you totally did. It's because of how you care for your relationships that made it so you were MVP. Karen, I can't wait to hear from you and the advice that you're going to have for us as well. Thank you for everything you do.
Oh, thank you, Steve. I'm truly honored to be part of this esteemed group, and for the reasons that you said. I mean, the Ann Arbor 1 p.m. team has so many incredible people in it, and I was actually a little bit surprised, I'll say, that I got it, because 4 years in Caerusnet, and there are incredible people there who are all so giving and so good at what they do. So thank you. So I'm Karen Kokeny with the Business Performance Academy. And I didn't start out with that in Caerusnet. I started out with my side hustle, the Beamer. And after the FDA put us out of business in February of 2020, I had to quickly pivot. And then, of course, COVID hit in March, and thank goodness I pivoted and got back into what I used to do. And I just love helping entrepreneurs to grow their business. And I just, in Caerusnet, I just focus on everybody else as much as I can. When I do trust builders, it's all about asking a lot of questions. My focus is on learning as much as I can about them, and really just continuing to ask questions until I find something that I can help them with. And it may not be directly related to their business, but it might be something personal, just anything at all that I can help somebody with to give value. It's that giving mentality that I try and incorporate, so that people remember me for that. And I want to be the go-to person. I loved what Carrie said. I want to be the Google. That's a great way to put it. And I try and lead with love. In my description, it's lead, learn, love, but I don't have time to talk about that now. It's so important. I focus also on learning as much as I can about them, just education. And that leads me to what I love about Caerusnet, the educational piece of it. The toolboxes are incredibly valuable. Steve, that you embed that into each and every meeting is so important, because we're either growing or we're dying, and as a business and as individuals. So that self-development is key, and always trying to be a better person is key. And I love the education that I get from meeting with the other people in the group. And I love the friends the friendships that I've developed from the group. It's just, I have actually 3 people in the group who are really, really close friends now. And I know that we're friends for a lifetime, and it means the world to me. So thank you all for having me here. I look forward to meeting each and every one of you that I haven't met, and happy to have a trust builder with any of you too. So blessings.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Karen. That was absolutely fantastic. And, you know, something that you mentioned, which is a really interesting thing, is sometimes we have Caerusnet members that have been members for a few years, but with different companies. You know, it's really neat. You know, once you understand the value of relationship marketing, you find that you can actually apply that value in a lot of different formats. So we only have two folks yet to recognize, and they're co-MVPs for my Canton Caerusnet Thursday 1 o'clock group. I think it would be fun to go with Justine Altman first, because Karen Kokeny, who just got done speaking, was the one that told her about Caerusnet. And wow, what an experience it's been having Justine in the group. She is all about helping people get better, and she talks about things with no holes barred. So it's not uncommon to hear Justine talking about poop during her member minute and how healthy is your poop. And she's just incredibly energetic, and you see somebody living everything that they preach in Justine Altman. So Justine, thanks so much for everything you do. Everybody's noticed with you as co-MVP of our Caerusnet group. Thanks for all you do. What do you have to share with us?
Thank you. Perhaps my website should be like poopandperiods.com. Yeah, so we talk about real stuff. What this group has really been good for me is, I sort of made a decision when I started this group that, I just have to be me, right? And me is sort of boisterous and real, right? And sometimes that means, like, back when we were meeting in person, I come to meetings in shorts and t-shirts and toe shoes and like not dressed like I'm in a professional setting. And because that's the way I'm comfortable, right? And that's the way that it works for me. And so I'm grateful that that I have a group to be a part of that. I guess that has a good level of respect for me, despite my dressing like a 8-year-old. It really is awesome that Karen and I are both here in this meeting today. Karen dragged me to a Caerusnet meeting the very first time we ever met together. So she and I met at a Wellness Coalition meeting once, and she asked me to do a trust builder. It was my very first trust builder ever. And she says, well, actually, I have this meeting I'm going to. You should come with me. And so I did. It was early in my business, and I wasn't, booked up all day long at the time. And I'm so appreciative that it happened that way. So the biggest thing for me with Caerusnet is, like isolation, like we need community. There are even studies on this, like the areas where community is really strong in the world, like in other countries and things like that, that they have the healthiest people. Like it's a thing, they're called blue zones. And the people are the healthiest there where there's community, right? Because isolation is the enemy. In my opinion, we really get so much out of community, and it's something that's missing in our society a lot today, right? Because we live in single family homes. We don't live with our extended families. We don't have sort of tight communities anymore. We live in big towns where, we know 0.5% of the people, maybe. So community just really, I think is a really positive thing for all of us. And it certainly has been for me. It's really just, this group means a lot to me. It's more than just growing a business, right? Like it's really a big sense of community. And when I thought about, my husband and I are thinking about moving. When we thought about moving, and I thought about, do I have to leave this group? The times when I've thought about it, like when you're about to start to cry and like your eyes and your nose start to get a little burny, that's what happens to me when I think about it, right? Because I really do have so much respect for our group, and for Caerusnet in general, and for Steve, and I really have gotten so much out of it on a personal level, right? Of course, there are business benefits as well, but it's really just about creating relationships and really feeling connected to everyone in the community. And Caerusnet really makes me feel connected to everyone in the community. So, thank you, everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Justine. That was fantastic. And looks like we have one more MVP that joined us after Scott. So I'm looking forward to hearing from Jim Campbell. I've got a little bit to say about him before he talks, but right now I want to talk about Scott Shea. Scott Shea is a Berkshire Hathaway real estate agent. Scott is somebody that's been fighting alongside me from the very beginning of this team, and watched a team grow and then shrink dangerously close to going out of existence. And yet he and the 6 other members that were still part of the group at the end, we all doubled down. Justine was able to step into the group after all of our hard effort paid off, and we got to attract awesome people like Justine to our group as a result. So Scott's been on a journey of a group that's had some struggles, but now is actually almost 24 members. And he brings just such solid professionalism, is always looking to refer the group. No surprise that you were also mentioned equally with Justine in this year's MVP voting. What can you share with us, Scott? And thanks for all you do.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm not sure how much more I can add. There's been so much great information shared today, and I know that a lot of you folks, by being MVPs, are going to know that the things that I say, you're going to know them already. But I think number one, I wanted to just share that I just looked up. So February 1st is the 5-year anniversary for Caerusnet for me. So I'm 3 days away from the 5-year anniversary, and it's just been a tremendous blessing for me to just get connected with you, Steve, and the Caerusnet concept. And it really is your passion that it keeps the group growing and with the right ingredients for future success. I think you're looking for 2 things. Number one was I just have always tried to have an attitude of how can I help the person that I'm having the trust builder with, right? How can I help them? It may be business, it might not be business. It might be something on a personal level that you can help that person. I remember Steve in our group helped a member out when she was moving. So he went over literally and picked up boxes and helped, load her up. So I think if you just have that attitude of how can I help that person, you'll feel good about it, and eventually it'll come back to you tenfold. I think the other thing that you were wanting to know is maybe a success. That very same person that Steve that I mentioned that's in our group, he had helped somebody move who was by the name of Lori. And Lori was our insurance person at the time, and then she ended up taking a promotion to another company that she could no longer remain in the group. But she gave a glowing review to you, Steve, that you shared with all of us, where she mentioned myself and the mortgage person, and Steve, the financial guy, and Lori, who cuts her family's hair, and I'm sorry, not Lori, but Stacy, that cuts her family's hair. And you really will, even if one day you leave the group, you can still benefit from this membership. And it was just a very nice thing to hear from her after she'd been out of the group for over 2 years. So it's just a great opportunity for those that decide to dig in and get involved and try to build your business. And I just am thankful to be here and glad that I met you, Steve, a number of years ago. Thank you.
Likewise. When Scott was getting ready to join the group, it was 2 real estate agents that gave me their application at the same time. One guy was a rock star performer, making all these records, kind of a show off. The other guy I could tell was Scott was going to be great with relationships. To me, it's working with people that are great with relationships, not necessarily the flashy folks that look like they have it all going on. Scott, you've been a huge part of this group, and I appreciate you. Okay, so we've got 1 minute left, and we got to hear from Jim Campbell. Boy, I'm sure a lot of you people on the screen know Jim Campbell. One of the things that I really admire about Jim is that when he's getting to know a new business, he really does put the focus on that business and asks really deep, probing questions like, what other challenges are you facing? What can I help you with? And the next thing you know, Jim has helped a business in 5 different ways that then they say to him, Jim, you've been so helpful to us. What do you do again? And that's a wonderful way to get the attention of people versus when you first meet somebody, oh, I do commercial insurance. Can I quote your policy? No. Jim gives them value, gives them connection, shows what an amazing human being he is. And then they're really interested in wanting to do business with him. Isn't that beautiful? Jim Campbell, you've won more MVP awards, I think, than anybody else in Caerusnet in the history of our young enterprise. What could you share with us? And thank you for everything you do.
Well, Steve, thanks. And I apologize for being late. Actually, I was on a Caerusnet call with an attorney in Ann Arbor who was, Dan. So him and I were kibitzing about a couple of accounts that I'm trying to refer to him. So that's kind of where I was. And Steve, I feel this award, this one right here, I don't know if you can see it, is the best one I've ever got, because I don't have to get another one because it never shows a year. So anyway, I don't know what's going on, but I appreciate the group. I mean, I have the opportunity to be in 3 groups, and you look at it being blessed to have all these people that I know, have clients that I have that are able to refer to people. And therefore, from that, I can sit there and help my clients, like I have someone that has legal issues. So we talked about that. Person passing away, we talked about that this morning. So there's many things. I got people that need leases. I have a company that's looking for an attorney that does nonprofit educational work. So these are some of the things that I run across, and you ask questions. What do you need? How can I help you? And I was able to refer to this one account here that I speak of, and it's just a matter of trying to be open to people. So, and you saw the account I sent over to an alarm company. So we've got, in one account, we've got 5 or 6 different referrals. So as I promised everybody this morning, my goal in each group is to provide at least 1 referral. And that's the best I can do for right now. And we keep on pushing that, but that's kind of where I am. So I don't know everything what went on in the group, so I'm just kind of rambling. So we got 1 minute, so I'm shutting up. Thank you.
Jim, that was great information as well too. And I think the point to take away from that is, you know, when you pass a referral to somebody, we should already be thinking about maybe who else in the group could get involved in this transaction somewhere along the way. I gave a referral to Linda Toby last week, and I messaged her, hey, let's warm this up for commercial insurance. Let's warm this up for insurance planning. Doing those things and being sure we pay those referrals forward is a wonderful way to bring a real impact with what we can do with Caerusnet. Would you all that have your MVP award, would you mind just kind of holding that up into the screen a little bit with you? Just hold it up nice and strong. My goodness, man, I'm so proud to be on this call with all of you. Thank you so much for that. And I'm just going to finish today with, I always love to hear from you. If you'd ever like to book time with me, it's easy. I'm easy to get a hold of. There's a calendar link on the Caerusnet website to get a hold of me. Any ideas, any thoughts you might have to improve this enterprise, I'm always interested in as well too. But I'll just close with this. You know, spreading love was a theme that I heard today. Spreading positive energy is a theme that I heard today. And I think in this world, in this year in particular, there's a saying I've always fallen back on, which is, don't let the world change your smile. Use your smile to change the world. And that's what we need to do, all of us, all the time. And that's what you do for me. You bring a smile to my face. You bring a smile to the world. And you're making it a better place. What you do matters. So thank you to all of you MVPs for today. You are a phenomenal group. This is going to be posted.